Well, that was about 1973 or 4, somewhere in there. I had taken a class at the high school in Apache Junction called Prospecting the Superstitions, and I became friendly with the teacher that was teaching that class. In fact, I took 2 of them in a row, and after the class was over, he took people on horseback rides through the superstitions. So we went from Peralta Road to First Water Road with about 30 or 40 people. It was amazing. I've got some pictures of the horses on the switchbacks and all this stuff. And that was my first trip through there, but it really didn't have anything to do with the Dutchman. The Dutchman, of course, was a real person. Just about everything is known about him here in America when he arrived, except how he got to California with the 49ers. They don't know if he went around the Horn or he walked across the Isthmus, or that he went overland or what. That's about the only thing they don't know about him being here. But in 2004, 2 doctors, Dr. Ortel and his brother, both Germans, one still living in Germany and one still here. Their father was a genealogist, and they've done genealogy too, and they had become interested somehow in the Lost Dutchman legend, and they decided to try to find this guy. Now, there's been a lot of books written about Jacob Waltz, and one of them had his birthplace and all that, and they disproved this completely, so much so that the author removed the book from being printed. But they have documented him to the point that there's no doubt. He was born in a town called, and I'll probably mispronounce some of these names, Vohenlo, which is in the kingdom of Württemberg in southern Germany. First time I saw a map of it, I thought it was huge, but really it's not all that big. But Vohenlo is over on the far eastern edge of Württemberg and almost to the boundaries of Bavaria. And he was born in, I think it was September 2nd, 1810. And his father, a little bit later I'll tell you how they come up with this information, but his father gave him 250 gulden to come to America. Now, gulden was a coin that contained gold, and it was said to be a substantial amount of money at that time. I found out later that a gulden is worth about 80 euros at this date. And anyway, he left home and went to Heilbronn, which was about 10 miles away. He bought a shotgun, double-barrel shotgun. They got the name of the guy that sold it to him. He bought about 55 pounds of foodstuffs, a fur cap, and he had a box made that was what they call 4 shoes, S-C-H-U-E, which means a shoe, being about 12 inches. So this box is about 4 feet long, and he had a special strap made for it so he could carry it, which I assume was perpendicular. And he, instead of paying for it with the 250 guldens that his dad gave him, he charged it all and headed for America. But he didn't go where most Germans go to leave. He didn't immigrate out of Amsterdam or any places like that, and left for America at Le Havre, France. This led me to believe that, and I don't know that it's true, but he must have been in a little bit of trouble. Who knows what, but a lot of soldiers were coming home from the wars at that time. Work was hard to get, and whatever trouble, maybe he was trying to avoid the conscriptions, I don't know. Maybe he had woman troubles, I have no idea. But why conceal the gun in a box? It wasn't against the law in Germany to own a shotgun. And why leave from France instead of the normal channels that most Germans, and he did not do it with legal immigration. So anyway, when he stepped off the boat in New York in 1839, he was worth about $3,000. So he didn't live from poverty. He didn't leave because of poverty or anything like that. He was educated at the University of Hohenheim, down just south of Stuttgart, and his two brothers were educated there. And when his father died in 1843, the money that he gave him, the 250 gulden, the 144 gulden that he charged, and 196 gulden for his education were all held against his inheritance. That had to be accounted for before anybody else got anything. His mother died 8 years later, and the government went through his kind of what we would call probate, and all 5 of his brothers and his sister got 2,700 gulden, and he got 2,100 gulden and change, because his 600 and some gulden was held out, and it was never claimed. He never claimed it. And that's the story of Jacob Waltz in Germany, which only a handful of people even know anything about. It's only been published in the Superstition Mountain Journal and things like that, so not that many people have been exposed to the truth of that matter. Oh, some people believe he was born in 1808 rather than 1810. Yeah. 1810. Well, you know, I looked up the University of Hohenheim, and it was an agricultural school back in those days. Today, it offers geology. A lot of rumors have floated that Waltz was trained in geology. But I could find no evidence that back that far they were teaching geology, because it was strictly an agricultural school. But he had a degree in business administration. They wrote that down in their documentation. So I don't think he of course didn't know anything about California back then, you know. The Indians along the east were not a big problem. So why did he need the shotgun? Who knows? But after arriving at New York, he went to New Orleans, and then he went to work in the Georgia goldfields. But that story is so well known, you know, we don't, what he did here after he got here is just really documented well, but nobody hardly knows anything about him in Germany. There's no evidence he had a palter. Weiser was the name given. They had a list of all the people that was on the passenger ship. There was no Weiser. If he had some kind of a partner, it would have been after he got back to Arizona. He came in with one of the Walker mining parties, but he didn't go on with them to who discovered Rich Hill up at Wickenburg. You know, he stopped in La Paz. But then eventually he come on over to the Prescott area, where he had 2 claims. I think it was the General Lee and the Grant. What his Civil War beliefs were, nobody knows, but he did name them that, and it did produce some gold, but I don't think it was anything significant.
Thank you for watching this episode of Mysteries of the Superstition Mountains.